Blog
What
Talk
is it?
Radio.
Hello, Blog Talk. Hello, Blog Talk Radio. This is Michael Edley, Psychic Medium, coming to you live for Two Psychics.
Hello, this is Mary Amy coming to you live for Two Psychics. I'm an intuitive wisdom coach, and I hope you join us on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Bye.
Bye-bye. What is up, everyone? Good evening. Welcome to Two Psychics. I believe I am here with my co-host, Mary Amy. Mary Amy, you're there,
hear
right?
Me?
Oh,
can
I
you
can
hear
hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, my goodness. So, everyone, this was supposed to begin at 7:30, and you know how life takes over. Here we are. I was not at my location to bring on tonight's show, and Michael Edley said, I'm on, and I said, oh, my gosh. And I raced over here, and I got over here in less than 5 minutes. I don't know how I did that, but I apologize for the, for this. And I hope everyone's well tonight on this Thursday evening.
That was pretty amazing. You got over there really quick from the point we had talked. It almost feels like you teleported over there.
You know what? I guess I'm going to mention otherworldly realms. So here we go. I mean, basically, I think that I must be in an otherworldly realm.
Living in multiple timelines, multiple dimensions.
So what's going on, Michael? Before we get into what our show is about this evening, what have you been up to? What's new?
Well, doing a lot of readings. I have some really cool workshops and classes coming up. Just so everyone knows, I'm going to be posting quite a few things pretty soon over the next few weeks. I'm going to start announcing several different psychic development classes I will be starting up. I have a few workshops on working with our different clairsenses, developing your psychic intuition, learning the basic principles and fundamentals of mediumship. So a lot of those things, a lot of cool stuff coming up. Some interesting stuff about this energy cycle we're going into. We have a new moon on 3/10. Pretty interesting. I think 4 a.m., 3/10, the new moon. We also have the spring equinox on March 19th. And then we also have a solar eclipse coming up. So I would say we have a pretty interesting energy cycle that we're going into. And it's absolutely a great start for new beginnings. Start manifesting, that big thing that we've all been trying to manifest. Well, now is the perfect opportunity for that new beginning, that awakening, and taking advantage of this new energy cycle we're going into.
You always offer such insight and other, I guess, out of the box information, and I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Yes. And, I have to tell you, in the last few days, I feel as though myself I'm being teleported. In fact, I believe that it would be as though I am hanging by a thread like an astronaut would be connected to the Earth, and I'm floating around. I don't know which way I'm going to go. Tonight we are going to get into otherworldly realms. I am going to give some insight about ways to develop psychic abilities, activating your third eye. We are also going to touch on the subject Flat Earth. We have a wonderful, amazing guest, Flat Earth Dave, and he will be joining us. And we are going to take one or two callers for a psychic reading. So if you want to call in, the number is 515-605-9866. And all of you out there, have you been writing down your sleeping dreams when you wake up and reminding yourself how important they are, and they will guide you? Have you, Michael?
Yes, I'm getting more and more consistent with it. I was very consistent for quite a period of time. And what I'm finding now is I'm in this really weird energy cycle of certain things intuitively coming to me in my dreams, prophetic visions, and then a lot of my subconscious stuff also coming out. And some of it's being blended together. Some of it I'm having to sift through and say, what is this? Is this because of what I experienced today, or is this something prophetic that the divine is trying to tell me. So I think it would be a good point in time for me to get back to that. So I should say I will be making a point of becoming more consistent on doing my dream journaling.
I've been having some dreams that do not involve angels or extraterrestrials. I've been having some dreams that are related to my existence right here in this physical reality. And some of them are, I think, premonitions, because about 48 hours ago I had a dream that was related to something that was happening presently in my life. And yes, they do take on a form maybe of a more metaphor or symbolism. But if you write them down and you pay attention, usually, depending on how clear you are, some kind of synchronicity will occur. And you will be guided, and you will be opening up kind of a portal within you in your inner life, and your energy will be sent out in another dimension, and maybe you will connect to a being or another individual or some other kind of experience that you're supposed to have happen in this life or future life.
Yeah, and I think it's important to be able to go back and maybe review and reconsider some aspects of why that information came to us or what was around that information. And I think documenting it really gives us probably the best way of understanding and harnessing what the universe is trying to tell us in that dreamlike state. Absolutely. So I'm going to have to jump on Amazon and order your book.
Well, really what my book is a directory. It's a little bit of an introduction. It speaks of dream work and how if you pose a question to yourself before you go to sleep, something like maybe during your sleeping dreams you are constantly running. That was something that had happened to me. Or you have a fear. You can embrace that during your sleeping dreams. So you can ask yourself before I go to sleep, well, can I stop running tonight? Or I will stop running. And it's funny, I stopped running. And when you stop running, you realize maybe I'm not so scared. Maybe there's something that I need to address. So
yeah, one interesting thing that I found is when I was really focusing in on this and I started documenting everything that was coming to me and I really sat with it, brought my understanding of what was going on in my life to a whole different perspective. And then what that caused me to do, it started causing me to want to embrace trying to do lucid dreaming. And it took a little while, but once I had my first lucid dream, it was the most amazing experience. And anyone that's out there, I would definitely suggest, if you haven't tried lucid dreaming, just research it. It's definitely something we're going to be talking about in one of the future episodes. Mm-hmm. But some amazing, empowering creativity and unlocking of, just unlocking of the whole realm of consciousness and subconsciousness happens in that world. And it's really, really cool stuff.
For everyone out there who's listening, I'm really grateful, and I want to say thank you, and I want good things for you. And I'm hoping that you can follow us and maintain some kind of connection to us and maybe call in and get a reading. And if there's something that you really would like us to talk about, maybe you can mention it to us, because we really try to bring on topics that are interesting and out of the box, so consider that.
Like and follow, share, tell everyone you know. They should listen to Two Psychics.
Okay, so should we get on it? Because we have Flat Earth Days coming on exactly at 7:30, so we have to get in some callers, and we want to talk about some of these subjects. And I know you have an input on what otherworldly realms are.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to start off, I know you have some prepared and researched information for us, like you always do.
Aw, thanks.
So if you want to bring a little bit of that through, give us a little bit of that information, and then I can maybe comment on that or give my perspective on it. That might be an interesting one.
I'd love to do that. And by the way, thanks everyone for your patience. I'm so sorry that there was a delay starting. Something was going on with the studio. Okay, so otherworldly realms. Otherworldly realms are beyond this physical world that we live in. It's another place, another space, another energy other than this realm, and it's not ordinary. Through portals lie powerful energy which offer guidance and wisdom. So otherworldly realms are a spiritual place, a mystical place, a paranormal place with higher awareness and higher consciousness. It's an unearthly supernatural realm, and it's the opposite of a place that is about possessions and wealth. It's more connected to spiritual beings, possibly angelic or multidimensional entities. So these beings may include celestial angels, ghosts, spirits. I don't like to say demons, but maybe. Extraterrestrial life existing in alternate dimensions. So you want to consider this beyond a religion. It's a life force energy with limitless dimension. And speaking of otherworldly realms, I am a firm believer that angels exist. And I just want to mention angels. So heavenly angels have a spiritual hierarchy. There's 9 ranks: the seraphim, cherubim, thrones, dominions, virtues, powers, principalities, archangels, and guardian angels. And they live in higher dimensional realms. I know that we've seen angels in fine arts with halos and wings. Maybe you feel a brush across your face or some kind of light in the corner of your eye, sparks of light, or you might even have had an experience where you've had a vision of an angel, or they've touched your heart, or you feel the presence. There are known to be archangels like Archangel Michael, and he is the Prince of Light, fighting against the sons of darkness. And Archangel Gabriel, the messenger that we know with multicolored wings. There's Archangel Raphael, the healer to whomever needs something. And last, I'm going to mention Archangel Uriel, who is known as the Archangel of Salvation, saving those from harm. What's your perspective, Michael, on otherworldly realms?
Well, I think it's something that's been spoken often through, mythology, through different religious works and writings. And I think the easiest, you explained it pretty clearly there. The easiest way to, I guess, simplify it is we are in this physical realm now. We're having this physical existence. Beyond us, there's the spiritual realm. We'll say a supernatural realm of existence that encompasses everything. In that realm of the supernatural, there's different layers. And I do believe there is a layer also between the physical as it permeates as like a semi-structure between the physical into the spiritual. And I think with religion, a lot of times religion would refer to that as like a purgatory, an aspect of purgatory. Now, I don't believe purgatory, how it's been described in traditional religion, is what it is. I do believe there is a point from the physical that we transcend into what I will call as a medium, a life review. There's definitely an aspect of space and time that holds. And in this realm, I believe we can look at all aspects of our human existence. What is the karmic, is there any karmic debt that we owe? Is there good that we brought into this world? What love and light did we bring? What type of change? How did we live our life? What kind of person were we? And I do believe even people that have been on a very dark path and people that have had an evil human existence, I do believe even in this realm, they're almost morphed. And I believe the angelic realm and the supernatural realms with their guides, ascended masters, and anyone who may be around any particular human will help us discern this human existence and then also help in transcending through that semi-permeable, what religion calls, that that holding pattern. And I believe from that, in that purgatory holding pattern, which isn't truly what it is. It's truly learning and living and transcending into the spiritual form. And I do believe so. You had talked a little bit about, demons or evil or different things like that. And it's a subject that gets brought up to me quite a bit. I do believe that angels there were fallen angels on this planet. I do believe a lot of what was told. I do think Hollywood, though, has also sensationalized a lot of it. I think there's been a lot of bad connotations around psychics and mediums, and do we know who we're channeling? Do we know who we're speaking with? I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, when we transcend into this initial realm of divine, there may be several layers under that semi-permeable layers that we're navigating till we transcend, till we have this life review, till we work out whatever junk and stuff that we need to work out in order to ascend into this higher vibrational state. We work through that. Our ascended masters, our guides, the angels, they all come to assist us, our loved ones in spirit. This is like a cleansing and a rebalancing, and I believe in that space, evil is almost... It's pushed out, and I believe it's pushed back into this realm to some degree. Now, can people conjure? Can people call in things? Are there some variables to this? Yes, but I believe in a realm of divine presence that I'm connecting to when I'm doing a mediumship reading, or I'm pulling from, I'm trying to bring through messages for my sitter. This is a divine realm, and I truly don't believe evil can exist in this realm. Can evil exist in other realms around it? Absolutely. Does evil exist in this realm here with us? Well, I would say this is probably the most prominent realm, and we see it. We have free will, and we have free will to be as good of a person or as bad of a person as we want. And we're seeing that manifest in our society and our world today. But we do have a choice. We do have free will. When we ascend and we go into this divine space, the negativity, the pain, the evil, the trauma, the darkness, it's almost dropped from us, and the good transcends. It's almost like the good is pushed up and the bad is pushed down. And I don't want, be kind of stereotypical of a heaven and hell. I would say more so there's realms that we can look at, and I don't think this show, we have enough time to cover that all, but I want to say, when we're going into the divine realms and we're transcending into this supernatural, it truly is a divine space. And I believe more of the evil, more of the demonic, more of the stuff that can affect us negatively is here amongst us in the physical, more so than in the spiritual realm. Now, can it be in the spiritual realm? Can we have spiritual attacks? Can there be stuck entities, that haven't been able to ascend? Are there a lot of variables around that? Yeah, there are, and we can get into a lot of that in future episodes. But my belief is, as we transcend into this divine realm, which once we get there, there's many layers, we do have a choice to come back, and we can bring good into this world. We can come back, and I think that's why a lot of us had incarnated into this current existence as light workers. We're back to try to implement change, try to help with this ascension, try to help with positively raising the vibration of the earth. I mean, there's many aspects to this. Is that one reason? Yeah. Are there reasons why we may need to come back? Absolutely. That could absolutely be another learning lesson. We're coming back here to learn. We're coming back here to show love. We're coming back here, I think, to truly understand how the soul needs to harness the physical body. I believe this is school. This human incantation is school for the soul, and that's really what it's about. On the other realm, there's multiple facets of spiritual existence that reside in layers. And, that's probably I may have got a little drawn out on that and talked a little bit more than I wanted to, but it's a multifaceted layer that goes from this physical existence into the different realms of the spiritual existence.
I don't believe that you did, because you covered a lot. I mean, to me, what it seems to be is that this existence that we are in, this physical, is actually lower vibrational. So more of this dark stuff can exist
Yes,
here.
absolutely.
And then as you raise your vibration, and we've spoken about, when you have more love, when you have service to others, when you have compassion, forgiveness, and a higher consciousness, you go into some meditation, or you spend more time in nature, and you have more self-love. You're going to raise your vibration, and as you raise it, you're going to a much more higher frequency where more of these beings exist. Now, I've had experiences that it could have been because of my near-death experience, and it connected me to other realms. I don't think there's a blanket answer for any of this, and you can't generalize. It's individual by individual, has different experiences. I think we might have similar ones or similar encounters. I don't believe that when you travel up to an angelic realm, you're necessarily going to be meeting up with demons. I think that there's a place for both entities. I'm open to many possibilities, because I don't think any of us know or have all the answers. And I don't think that I will ever have all the answers. And this is limitless to me. And I'm open to having and knowing more. And every day I think I learn a little bit more. And I think just hearing you and what you have to say, Michael, you help me to understand, because I'm not a medium. I mean, I have experiences every night when I close my eyes. Someone who's passed over, I see them and they try to come to me, and I see very clearly what they look like in their personality, but I don't engage. You have that experience, so you're going to the spirit world more or less.
Yeah, and one thing I would challenge everyone to do, this is one thing I've always done my entire life, and this is with anything, especially when we're looking at any aspects of spirituality, when we're looking at any aspects of energy healing, ascension, any of this stuff. Before you start listening and reading other people's works and opinions and whatever everyone else has to say about it, sit with it yourself. Sit with your own intuition and see what comes to you, what resonates with you. What do you truly believe it is, and what do you truly believe it isn't? And then research it, and then see. And don't just listen to one person. Listen to many people. Look at all aspects of it, and try to discern from what initially came to you. And then as we get more information on that, we get more experience around it, we can truly discern, I think, what it is. And that's what I always try to do. And that's one thing that's always come to me, even when I initially started working with this, and I knew I was going to do it professionally. Before I listen to other people, I want to, how does it resonate with me? How does that sit with me? What do I think about that? And then once I had my own thoughts, beliefs, and opinions on it, which I say keep them very fluid, don't have them set in stone, then listen to other people and learn and expand. And I truly think that's the best way for us to get to the truth. That's one thing. But what I love that you just said when we were speaking about the divine realms and these otherworldly supernatural realms is the vibration, and raising our vibration and the vibration of love. I truly believe the divine realm is one of love. It's one of, caring. It's one of empathy. And that's the thing, is in that high vibration, the fear, the pain, the negativity, the evil, it's not going to be able to permeate through and exist. That's the thing. It's basically, it gets reformulated. I believe that. And I believe a lot of it gets reformulated, reconstituted, and kind of put back into the system. And some of it, I think, can correct itself and neutralize. And I think other stuff, like you said, we're in a lower vibrational state here on Earth. That's, as a medium, that's part of my, part of what I have to do is raise my vibration. I'm raising my vibration, and the spirit realm is lowering their vibration we're meeting in the middle, and we're reading a language of energy, a language of frequency. And that's, the easiest way to look at that. This is all about energy. It's all about frequency. So when we're transcending and we're raising our vibration, the negative stuff just, it will fall aside. It will lessen its hold on you. It will, the easiest way, I want to say it kind of burns away. As we transcend and as we're raising our vibration, the negative stuff, it burns away. And whether that's things, beliefs, people, and anybody listening here, I would say, look at the people that are around you now. Look at the people that were around you maybe in a dark time. Are they the same? Are they different? Because I can tell you, as we're raising our vibration, it will push other things away that aren't in alignment with that. And that may be belief systems, maybe stuff, maybe people. So we have to be open to all aspects of shifting, adjusting, and modifying our vibration. And we have to understand that change is inevitable in this process, and change in us and change around us. It's going to happen. Now, Mary?
I wanted to just give because to give some clarity here. If you are listening and you say, "Oh my gosh, this sounds like another language. What exactly are they talking about?" It all comes in time. The more you become familiar with some of these words we're saying, or some of the experiences we're speaking of, then the more you'll understand. And if you have an open heart, open mind, you will, if you are facing a certain direction and you say, "Oh, you know what? I'd like to learn more about my intuitive abilities," or "I'd like to activate this," or "I'd like to have an experience with angels." If you are open to that and you take away doubt and you accept it, you have self-willingness and self-confidence, you can have that experience. Because I will tell you, I knew at an early age I had a natural tendency. I thought everyone had a life like I did. I thought everyone knew everyone else's personality the moment they met them. I thought, I'm not special. This is what everyone else is doing. I just was already activated at a young age. But we can become activated at any age, and you will have a natural tendency, a natural ability to go into one direction. Like for Michael, he's a medium. He said when he was 2 or 3, he started seeing someone downstairs in the basement. For me, I automatically was connected to other realms, ethereal realms, celestial beings, angels. I knew they existed 1,000,000%. I grew up going to church. When I went into the church, I felt like they were all around me all the time. And as time went on, and I was open to it and said, "Okay, let this be. Don't fight it. It's possible." I didn't really tell anyone. I just went into this other mindset. And then I met Michael and other people that had these kinds of experiences. And then more and more, and as time went on, I became accustomed to it, and I learned about this. So just have patience, and together we will become more powerful, more highly dimensional, and more beings of light. Now, in regard to light and dark, if you are someone who loves drama and you're hanging around people that are very angry or negative, and I'm not saying there's anything against that. I'm saying if that is happening, then you're going to have more of a tendency maybe not to go to more of a spiritual realm or have angelic experiences. You might go into a different place. If you are someone who is trying to shed that, if you're trying to stay away from negativity and darkness and you want to embrace everything within you, eventually you'll come to a place of light and duality. So that's my input.
Good stuff. But yeah, that's one thing that people need to realize too when they start working with this energy. It's a process, and I know we say this a lot. It's small steps. It's doing it consistently, and it's like anything else. Practice, and practice makes perfect. Well, I should say I don't think there's ever a perfect. It's just an ongoing. It's an ongoing learning and adjusting. That's really what it is. You know.
Okay, so I am looking, and I just got a notification. We have Flat Earth Dave coming on exactly at 7:30.
Okay.
And which means that we have less than 30 minutes, and we want to do 1 or 2 readings. And Michael put his timer on, and I'm going to do a psychic ability exercise. I would prefer we start with doing a reading. We have some that have been already holding. We have someone holding already for 48 minutes. So I'm going to grab them because we have to start promptly at 7:30 with Flat Earth Dave, and I want to give a little interpretation or explanation about what exactly that is. So is it okay if I pull someone on, Michael?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So let's see who this is. No one was screened tonight, purely by spontaneity. Let's see. Hi, who's calling?
Hi, my name is Patricia. This is
Hi,
my first
Patricia.
time.
This is Mary, and we have Michael.
What's up,
Welcome.
Patricia? How are you tonight?
Hi, Mary. Hi, Michael. I am well, thank you. How are you guys? How are you doing?
We are good. We are good. What question did you have for us tonight?
Oh, wow. Again, it's my first time calling in, and I've been enjoying the show thus far. And so my question tonight is, God, I have a lot going on around me. Do Spirit have any specific messages surrounding both claims, hearings that I have going on? Is it anything that I need to do or not do? Any specifics, please and thank you.
Okay, Patricia, if you could just give me your name slowly one time. I want to connect to your energy, and then we'll see what we can pull from your energy field.
Yes, my name is Patricia.
Okay, Patricia, and you said there's ongoing litigation, ongoing claims. There's
yes. One is homeowner claim. It's home damage claim, and then it's wind damage, and then it's guardianship.
Okay, and then guardianship
over elderly family.
So I could tell you what's being highlighted to me. Initially, more so the guardianship. So let's see. Let me sit with this a little bit. Okay, so just feel out the energy a little and see the homeowner claim. So I want to get into the guardianship thing last. I want to bring through just a couple quick things around the homeownership claim. I believe. What was the insurance? So what comes to me around this? The insurance, is there some variable on whether or not the actual damage would be covered under a stipulation in your policy, under a certain amendment or an addendum, something on that policy? Is that the variable that we're going by? Someone's trying to fight it, saying that amount or that particular type of damage isn't covered to the extent or the amount in which you're saying it needs to be covered. Is that's what I get it?
It's sort of, I demand appraisal, and so appraisal award was awarded, and the insurance company kind of sat on it for about 4 months, which I had to bring in an attorney, and usually you don't because they seem to comply, but my homeowner's insurance didn't. Well, the attorney that I brought in, I eventually had to file a complaint with the Bar Association for different ethical reasons. And she has responded back, and I'm just wanting to know, do you pick up anything surrounding maybe the outcomes? She just spiraled really, really bad, and she's trying to play cleanup.
Okay.
And,
the interesting thing, I get the number 4 around this. So the number 4 initially comes to me around this, And I don't, with the number 4, I don't believe is there significance? Did the damage happen on the 4th? Is the 4th or April? Is that a significant date around this or the filing of this? Because I'm being brought to the month of April. The 4, for me, as I'm seeing it and I'm feeling the energy around it, is the month of April as some significant turnaround on this. So I don't think it's going to be settled, and I don't think like a full payout or anything like that is going to happen initially, but I think something is going to be shifted and opened, and something maybe, there may be some headway going in April, but I still think it's going to be a drawn out process. I think you have several months around that. I think it's going to be a slow process, slow, tedious process for you that you just have to stay on top of. I think that's what comes to me mainly is you have to be very fanatical about staying on top of people, calling, harassing. You have to be the squeaky wheel that they want to oil. That's what comes to me is you just have to really stay on this. And regardless of the amount of money, how big or small it is, I do believe on a principle matter at this point for you, you just have to be the squeaky wheel and stay with it. But I see a shift around April. Now, I want to shift from that to the guardianship. Okay, so let me ask you this. So what comes to me around this? I have a few things. Is this going on around like a younger male figure involved in this?
No, it's an elderly 76-year-old.
This is a 76-year-old? Okay.
Yes.
Is there something in regard to is there like a sibling and you, so is there male energy around this that you're kind of at odds with of how you should proceed or how you should do this or how this person should be handled? I feel like there's some kind of disharmony or there's some kind of chaotic energy around you and younger male energy as like sibling or another person.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The male sibling would be a brother who is now been removed to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you bringing through that validation on that, because that's what I'm getting, is the younger male energy, the brother, the sibling, has to be removed out of the process in order for it to flow smoothly. I don't know if there's ulterior motives behind the brother or behind your brother, or there was some financial incentive or something, but I just see there was some kind of, potentially he was looking at it as some type of vested interest or benefit that would come to him from that. I don't know. I'm just reading the energy of that, and that's what comes to me. Now, having him removed, I just think you need to do the same thing as far as what you're doing with the homeowner's claim. I believe you have to dot all your I's, cross all your T's. You have to stay on top of the paperwork, make sure everything is filed correctly, timely. The energy around that, I think it's in your best interest to approach this as quickly as possible. So I see this as something you need to move as fast as you can on, so there isn't some kind of interplay between other family members trying to step in or control or modify what's going on. But I do see it working out in your favor with that younger male energy removed. So if you said that was taken care of already, then I think you are on track to positive results around the guardianship. And I do see a lot of positive things. Like, not only do I see that being positive. Now, is this your parent? Is this parent or uncle or?
This is uncle, and that male has already been removed.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm getting, the uncle. I just think this is a good thing, and I think you'll be a positive. I think you'll be a beacon of light for him. I do think you'll instill a lot of positivity and uplift him. And I do think, I don't know what your background is as far as like healthcare, taking care of, any. Is there healthcare? You have that, correct? That's in your background. Yes. Okay, that's what
Absolutely.
I'm picking up. So that's why I'm seeing from a medical, almost as if like he will have his own home health aide, his own caretaker in a sense, that will make there's no problems, there's no issues should they arise somewhere else. So I do think by you making that decision to be this person's guardian, I do think it is the right decision. And I also think you'll get, by giving back and helping this family member, I'm not sure what the connection is, but I do sense a lot of pride in this for you. So I don't know. I almost feel as if this person, at some point in time had done something very good or beneficial for you, or helped bail you out, or stood up for you, or something like that. And it's almost like you're kind of giving back and supporting them at this point in time. Can you take any of that?
Yes, he is. He is the brother of our siblings. He's the brother to our late father, who has been deceased for about 10 years. So since Vietnam, he experienced a chemical explosion, and as early as his 20s, had to be taken care of by family members. So this has been going on all of his life, and he is himself a beautiful spirit, a warrior of sorts. And so it is just my duty to take care of ones who cannot fend for themselves. And I will be proud to do that. I am proud to be his niece, and I am just blessed to be the torch carrier for many who can no longer speak or do as they once done in their life. So I thank God for that passion, and I do diligently, work hard at making sure I do his will and taking care of others who cannot. It brings such joy to my heart. It puts a smile on my heart. So, absolutely.
Yeah, I think there's
for the
good
message.
things for that, and you have that brother energy out of there now. So I think for both of you, it'll be a mutually beneficial thing that occurs. And what do they say? Not all angels have wings. So I think you're his angel here on Earth.
Yes.
What do you say, Mary Amy?
Well, it's so interesting because I had goosebumps at one point when something you said, and I was vacillating back and forth initially, and then I write down information that I received, Patricia, and then I start to question myself, is this valid? Should I even say anything? But I'm just going to say what I received. So I received that you are, even when you are there and an angel for others, for yourself, not more or less, you're not necessarily someone who is confrontational. You're more non-confrontational, but I guess in regard to helping others, you will do your duty and do. And I had this visual of this puppy dog that was barking at you, and it was a difficult time for you, and it was upsetting. I did receive that you would have a friend that would help you through this emotionally if you needed it, some kind of friendship that was related that you could turn to. I don't know if that means anything to you, but whatever it is, you have this strength that you gather within you, and I know you will carry on whatever you need to do for others. Even if you don't have any backing, you will take care of what you need to do.
Absolutely. Yes. You're just spot on with everything. I do have a friend that I've met through work that is willing to come aboard with helping care for my uncle, along with other family members, because even during the time that my brother was the live-in caregiver, we other siblings, we were helpful as needed with him and our uncle. And so, yes, it resonates, Mary, what you're saying. And I thank you both for the message. You are truly earth angels yourself. So I thank God for your message.
That's very sweet.
Yes, absolutely. It was a pleasure. Many blessings to you both. And I would like to stay online, if I may, and continue to listen to the show. I know you have others. I will not be selfish and take up any more of your time.
Well, you can always give us a call back when everything unfolds and let us know how it's unfolded.
Yeah, I'm going to
sure
try.
will.
we know I'm not great at technology, but you're saying listen, so I'm going to put it where I think you would be listening, and if not,
Okay.
I'm doing my.
Up on you just got to call back.
I think I'm going to
Okay.
put you on what it is mute, and then you're there, but you're muted. Okay.
Thanks so much,
Lovely
Patricia.
to meet you. Be well.
Thank you. You as well.
Okay, Michael. So we have our guest coming on in 12 minutes. So I'm just going to quickly do a psychic ability exercise for everyone because we have Flat Earth coming on. Flat Earth Dave. I'm very excited about this. Okay, everyone. This is what I'd like you to do right now. I know I'm all revved up, but I'm going to calm myself down. So let's free our mind of distractions. So I'd like everyone, if they can possibly, to relax body, and we're going to allow some new, fresh ideas to come forward. So maybe get into a comfortable position. You can sit or lay down. And so we're going to start by releasing any stress and anxiety that we have. And like I always say, put all your weight in your bottom, which is the base of your spine, your root chakra, and I'd like you to release as much energy as you can from your arms and your legs, and maybe move your neck around, your head around, and maybe be like a rag doll. And when I say release any energy in your arms, have the energy come down out through your fingertips. And so we're going to remind ourselves to take this weight at the base of our spine, and we're going to shoot our energy down into the Earth's surface so we're grounded. Maybe let out a breath. Imagine your feet firmly planted in the Earth's surface, and you're going to wiggle your toes so you ground yourself. And let's have gratitude for this moment, and that means that we are thankful that we are here, and we should be thankful. And we are like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I'm here right now. And so together, we're going to be in this moment with gratitude, and we're going to breathe out. Maybe if you want to say some words to let out any tension or stress. So we're going to inhale and exhale 3 times together. And I'm going to do that with you, and we can do that just on a 4 count. So you're inhaling for 4, you're holding for 4, and you're releasing for 4. So let's do that together right now. Again. Another. Now, hopefully you're a little bit more relaxed. What I've realized is you're more apt to receive information the more comfortable you are. So this is when we're going to open up and activate our third eye chakra, our mind's eye. We're going to remind ourselves to get comfortable, and you're going to try to focus on, if you want to have your eyes closed, I prefer it, your eyes open if you choose. You're going to try to focus on one thought. And this is like a little mini meditation. And maybe it's going to be a physical object or a thought. Now you decide whichever is easier for you. For example, you might have your eyes closed and you're relaxed, you're focusing on your breath, and you're thinking of an object. Maybe it's something like a flower, a pencil, something that's next to you, or maybe it's just a thought. And what you want to do is when you think of this thought or this object, you want to see it as clearly as possible in your mind's eye. So let's say it's a flower. You're going to see how much you can resolve within your mind's eye. The color of it, what it looks like, the shape of it, anything that you would utilize your senses with. And my suggestion is that you do that now. And maybe you try to do this once a day. So you're going to focus on your breath like we did. You're going to focus on releasing anxiety. And maybe you want to do this before you go to sleep. Now, if your mind wanders and it gets distracted, try to bring it back to that thought or that object. Now, you will know if you've activated your third eye, your mind's eye, because you will start to feel pressure in the space between your brows. And it's going to feel like a physical sensation. And then you might experience some positive benefits, and you're going to know when it happens. You're going to feel a little bit different, really something you can easily explain. Before you go to sleep, or in the middle of the night, or before you're waking up, you might start to experience light with your eyes closed, shapes or light forms, and then you will know that you've activated your third eye. And you will be awakened, and you will start to have similar experiences to those that Michael and I have had. Okay, so there we go. You there, Michael?
I am here. I'm here. I'm relaxed, and I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay.
I'm ready. I'm in the zone.
Are you in the zone? Okay, so before we bring on Flat Earth Dave, I'm going to give a little description. So what is a flat earther or flat earth? Now, early on, many believed the flat earth is flat. It's an ancient idea in India, China, Greece, and before the 4th century BC, European civilization believed that the earth was flat. Homer described the earth as flat. So what shape is the earth? Contrary opinions with philosophers, scientists, mathematicians, whether it was flat or round or spherical. Now, is Earth an optical illusion? In 1956, the Flat Earth Society, International Flat Earth Society, was created by Samuel Shenton. It's a worldwide organization. I don't believe that this is a simple philosophy or belief. I think it's much more complex than we realize. Now, we've contacted and we have found Flat Earth Dave. Now, Flat Earth Dave is a podcaster and a flat earther. He has his own podcast, and he has many, many channels. If you want to just put him in one of the search engines, you can find him. He has many interviews, and he's on Twitter and Instagram. And he's going to join us momentarily, and I will bring him on as soon as he is in the green room. Do you have anything you would like to add about this before we bring him on, Michael?
Now, the funny thing is, as much as I have to say about so many things, this is one area where I have to say I am not an expert on. A lot of things have come to me around it, but it's not a rabbit hole that I've pursued. But I would say, hey, I'm open to hearing about it. I'm open to say, it's possible. Why not? I speak to spirit. I'm sure people would go, hey, this guy's crazy. So someone that says, hey, the earth is flat, someone says they're crazy. Well, I know there's two sides to every story. So I'm really curious to see what Flat Earth Dave has to say. I have a couple questions that I'm intrigued about, and I'm looking forward to it. I think we all have to be an open book. We have to be open and willing to hear all sides, all opinions, and then form our own opinion, and that's where I'm at with it right now.
Okay, well, here he is. I'm going to bring him on, and I've never spoken to him. It's going to be a new experience. I'm super excited. I want to hear everything we can possibly learn from Flat Earth Dave. So here I am going to bring him on. Hi.
Can you hear me?
Mary, yes, Mary and Michael here. How are you?
What is up, Flat Earth Dave? How are you? Mike Edley here.
I'm doing good. I'm just having a little audio issue trying to get this to come through my phone. But can you hear the tapping on my mic?
I can hear you tapping, and you're coming through pretty good. I can hear your voice pretty well.
Yes,
okay.
I can hear you.
No problem. I got it.
How are you?
Good to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. And I think that's part of this show with Two Psychics. We want to bring all aspects, all opinions, all variables around many, many different topics. And I think this is a topic that people are really divided on, and I'm curious
oh man.
what, it's interesting, and that's what I was saying to Mary Amy before, hey, there was a point in time where, I'm an evidential medium now, and people know my deal, and I bring through evidence, but what brought you to this realization that, hey, there's something going on. There's something more than what we're being told, and the Earth may be flat. Like, what brought you to that initial conclusion, or what brought you down that rabbit hole?
All of us that have come down this rabbit hole came in the same way, kicking and screaming and refusing to believe it's real, and we all tried to debunk it. We're like, I'm tired of hearing this. Let me set my crazy friends straight. And then we went in looking for proof of the globe and trying to disprove flat Earth, which isn't a great way to investigate for truth. But we all went in trying to debunk it, and that's how you become a true Earther, a flat Earther, a level topographical, non-rotating Earther. And the programming that we have since childhood is so strong in some that they just can't let go of their ball. And they become children. You try to remove their heliocentric insanity belief. And we all have another thing in common, the ability to question authority.
Okay. Well, what I find really interesting, when we look at old ancient historical texts, or we look at, just the older lineage of like energy healing, the chakra system, we see this, like the ancient Vedic text and some of these writings. And they also talked about flat Earth. Now, today we know the chakra system, it can be scientifically tested. There is an energy system in the body and the auric system around it. And
100%.
What really intrigued me is, okay, so if these ancient cultures were talking about these energy systems that now we're acknowledging, they are here, they're around us, they're in us. And at that point in time, they were acknowledging a flat Earth system or a semi-oval kind of spherical, semi-flat, coin, almost shaped, so these variables that were all around back then, why can't it be? But the thing that I wonder, so my question to you, I think my biggest question is, why hide it? Is it a thing? Is it the powers that be want to control us? They want to harness us. They don't want us to know about it. Is there some secret formula that can open us and tune us to different wavelengths if we're at a different horizontal, vertical location, if we understand different symmetrics, different astrology? Like, what are the variables around this? Why don't they want us to know it?
So the why is the best question. It's my favorite. Well, let's hold off on answering the why, because the why is such an important question. It's actually flat Earth, the true Earth, knowing it is literally the most important topic of our time. More important than all the atrocities and everything that's going on in the world, because the way they get away with all of this stuff is because people are lost, spinning out of control, thinking that they're insignificant, not understanding our true power, and they're lost in space with a deluded creator at best. And that's how you control people. You can't control a population that has a solid connection to creation. You can't control people that live in the reality that we're born in. You are born into nature, in God's earth. We are all inheritors of this of the realm. And at birth, our parents signed the birth certificates, put us on the stock market, and then we bought into the heliocentric system, which we get into. And if there's a thing where he who creates it owns it. So the evil ones, I'll call that rather than the elite, have created this ball. And if you play on their ball field, their fake money, you have to play by their rules. And that's how they can control us. They cannot change nature, but they can sure try to copy it and divert us from it. They don't want us in nature. They don't want the population growing. They don't want us understanding our true divinity. And the why is literally so obvious, so clear. Once you see the deception.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give some input. I'm going to give some input. So I'm on the same page as you, Dave, and I realized, I listened to one little bit of one of your interviews, and I was like, oh my gosh, he gets it. Because you said that you started and you were awakened after you started looking, I guess, out of the box, and then you kind of realized you were really taken by this subject. And I know it's not easy talking about it without some kind of visual. You mentioned that. And you started to analyze, and you spoke about, you discovered the ships over the horizon. And when I hear this, like, this really resonates with me, what you're saying, everything you're saying, because you can't really, as an intuitive, how do I discover different information about somebody? Because I can get all the boundaries. When we don't have all the information, we don't really have the boundaries. We don't really know. It's like we're blindly walking around with our eyes closed, trying to feel around to know what is going on. We're trying to get a shred of truth and authenticity, but it's very difficult because everything around us from the time we were came out of the womb has been a lie, or it's been colored, or it's been, I guess, someone else's belief system, something made up. Yep. I don't know. And we can't find it without, I guess, trusting our instincts, going out there and looking ourselves, because whatever we're reading about and seeing about in the fake history is not true. So I feel like I want to just tell you that you're a brave soul, that you do this, what you do. And I think it's amazing, and I am very interested in what you have to say.
So let me just, there's a couple things I want to pick up on. And if I can remember all I want to say. First, the flat Earth is not a disk in space. We're not floating in space with other flat planets or round planets. That's a complete false paradigm. The first thing you'll see is, what, are we the only flat pancake out in space? Are all the other planets flat? That's a double-ended binary, a double false binary, where, both of those are false. What the flat Earth is, we live in the Antarctic basin. What do I mean by that? Large bodies of water at rest need containment. A pond has containment. It's the shoreline of the pond that goes all the way around that's containing it. Or part of that shoreline, and the water will flow away. So think of a giant lake in Kansas, nice and flat there, 100 miles across. That's a huge lake. And in the center of the lake is a mountain that's magnetic. So you're out on a boat, you're maybe 20, 30, 40 miles from shore, so you're halfway to the center of the lake. You can't even see the center or the shoreline from that far away just because of perspective. And you're using a compass, and the compass will always point to the center of the lake. Okay, compasses only work on a flat, level plane. Let's say go west or east. Are circles around that center. If you believe me, get a magnet, put it on a table, and try to push it west. While that still's pointing at the compass, you'll make a circle. You'll end up right back where you started from. Funny thing is, on Earth, people have circumnavigated billions of times, but they've only done east and west. On a globe, you should be able to circumnavigate south. Nobody has gone south from Santiago, South America, and popped up in Australia. No one has ever done it. It's a short flight on a globe, but it's the opposite on a flat Earth. It's a very long flight. So that's what flat Earth is. And the question is, what is beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, by the way, is the highest continent on Earth. It's higher than the next highest ones combined. The average elevation, I forget the number, but it's way higher than the ocean, is the containment of our ocean. Law of water, the physics of water, say water lays flat. So the boats over the horizon, that's the one that got me. I went out and bought a $1,000 camera, tripod, went down to the beach, 57 times zoom, and I zoomed in on things that should have been 50, 60 feet below a curve, and I can see them. Not only can I see them, I can see the surface of the water beyond them. That's impossible. That's impossible. And so I immediately said, you know what, the curve calculator's wrong. And I started looking all over, and I even went to the what I call anti-flat earther debunking sites to see what they said about the curve calculator. And they have this crazy idea that you have to split the difference with the object and yourself. You're not at the top of the ball. You're halfway down one side. They're halfway on the other side, which is dumb. But I said, okay, there should only be 30 feet of curvature. I still shouldn't be able to see a 10-foot tall buoy, and I can't. So that, to me, told me right there one of two things. The Earth is flat, or it's a ball 1,000 times bigger than they tell us. If it's 1,000 times bigger, there's 1,000 times the number of continents on it. All wars and struggles over time, over what? Land and resources. What if there's other continents beyond Antarctica, other civilizations, other resources? That's what this is about. One last thing, I'll throw it back to you. There's a book called The Iron Republic. Iron Republic. There's also, you can go on YouTube and search The Iron Republic. The channel's called The Morgile, and he read it to you. It's if you're like traveling and you need to take it. And it's a short story is a politician got fed up in the late 1800s, sold everything, sold his house, bought a big ship, was going around Antarctica, found a little inlet, and got sucked into it, and then they went through, they navigated through it, and they were lost at sea for like 2 or 3 months. The stars didn't make sense. They found land. They saw a city. It was really weird because there was no noise coming from the city. And in the morning, a boat came out and greeted them and said, "You're at the Iron Republic." And they're like, "Where's the Iron Republic?" And he says, "Well, it's on the other side of Antarctica, about the same distance that the United States is." And the story goes on and on. The guy ended up living there for 10 years. He actually met a woman, got married. She died. He got so distraught, he got his ship back and went back and landed in Florida and told a story. Now, he told stories. It says in 1901 it was published. And he told flat screen TVs, floating cars, a whole different type of government, different monetary system, all this wild. The story rings true to me. I believe it's true, but it doesn't matter because they were talking about more land beyond Antarctica in the 1800s. And every civilization before us is all flat Earth. And guess what? It wasn't 2,000 years ago that the Earth was round. It was in 1950 where they took out the Gleason's map out of all libraries, encyclopedias, schools, because in the 1950s they were still teaching flat and globe because they didn't know. They didn't know. So here's the last thing, and I'll go back to you. I might have made you speechless at this point, is we all know that the government is not here for our best interests. So when they say don't look, you should look there. If they say look over here, don't look there, go look the other way, because that you're going to fare better. Every Flat Earth video out there has a Wikipedia on it. Flat Earth is an ancient, stupid thing that's been debunked, but they never tell you how it's been debunked. All warnings, but you could Google fairies, Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, whatever you want. None of them will have a debunking video. Hollow Earth. You go Flat Earth, it goes there. The other thing is you can't find Flat Earth videos. Search you. If you search Flat Earth, you search my name, they'll just be debunking videos, right? And something that you didn't even search, like my videos that'll come that have nothing to do with me, but they're debunking videos because they know that you're looking for Flat Earth. So they're telling you don't look. So the best place to find all of this stuff, I've archived it all, I've organized it all. It's all on the website, flatearthdave.com, and just go there and take the crash course. Last thing, I keep saying that, I offer 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. Anybody that wants to do a little research, you have to go to my website, go to the crash course, watch 3 to 5 of the videos in the list, and then come back with globe proof, and you win 3 Bitcoins. It's that simple. But I have no fear of losing my Bitcoins because the Earth is not a ball, it's flat.
Ooh, that's a pretty good challenge.
I love everything.
3 Bitcoin if you can prove it. Oh, I like that.
Okay.
It's almost 200 grand right now. Yeah,
it is.
Well, you just explained a whole lot to me because I was going to ask you actually about Antarctica because I'm obsessed with Antarctica and what's really going on over there, and you can't go on there, and what's really, and I believe that there is a civilization. I believe that there is more land there. I believe that's why they don't want us to go over there. And also there might be other species and that are living over there, like a whole other civilization. So I'm on the same, I believe that. I don't believe one thing that's in the, I guess you could say the news, because that's all paid programming. It's all made up to kind of create this illusion so that everyone does what they want us to do. Or we do what they want us to do. So that makes a lot of sense. Like what you just said, that's so interesting. And well, go ahead.
Go Go ahead, Vin, and then I'll tell you one more thing about Antarctica.
No, when I did go to look into it, because a couple of years ago, because I do a YouTube channel and I talk about all kinds of, as they say, rabbit hole conspiracy theories, and I did do a little mini video and spoke about one time about flat Earth. But what I did find each time I have looked, it's always that whole little Wikipedia comment about what exactly it is, and it's been debunked and blah, 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 which I don't listen to that anyway. But the further I looked, there's not a lot that you can find out about it. And so that's why I went to one of your videos, because I wanted to know. And so that's it.
So two quick things about Antarctica, and then I'll talk about how to prove or disprove the shape of the Earth. Antarctica is really weird. All like presidents and world leaders all go to Antarctica, go to one of the stations, like South Pole Station, right near the shoreline, and then they disappear for 3 days. They're no one where they are. No one, and then all of a sudden they're back at South Pole Station. They go back. Where are they going? Are they going to get their marching orders from the real rulers of this world? The people that we think are the elite, I think, are the puppets of the puppet masters. We don't even know who they are. They could be giants. They could be Nephilim. They could be just rulers that are living in the outer lands. We had one of our flat earthers does window repair or painting or something, was working in a house of a retired Army guy or Navy, whatever, armed forces guy. The guy's 93 years old, and he goes to the person and goes, "Hey, I like your bumper sticker. It was a flat earther." And he's like, "Oh, thanks, hey." And he goes, "I used to work in Antarctica." And so the person was questioning him and about Antarctica, and the guy got very nervous. And so he did south would be outward, far south would be outward. And goes, "Well, I really can't see much because I have non-disclosure until I'm 100 years old. Isn't that wonderful? Non-disclosure until he's 100. He goes, "But what I can tell you, there's cities of people, of millions of people in Antarctica that are not allowed to communicate with the inner world." That's all we got.
That's interesting.
Inner world. I was
so
wondering
let me
about
ask you this, Flat Earth Dave. So even with the Flat Earth theory, you still believe we have enough girth and there's still enough mass in that flat Earth that can hold an inner Earth. Is that correct?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you go back to our pond, our lake in Kansas, and then if you sail south, which would be all direction from the center. So south is just towards the edge. If you and I were both, you're on one side, I'm on the other, we'd be going away from each other, right? Let's keep it.
You know what?
You're cutting in and out on us a little bit. I think the microphone on your end's clipping a little bit.
Is that better?
Better. Yes.
Yes.
Is that better?
Every other word.
Okay.
I didn't hear
it was
you
clipping a little bit.
All right. So, all right. Tell me if I'm flipping anymore. So, you get to the edge of the lake. You're going away from the center, and you get to now you walk away from the lake a mile. So, on the scale of a lake in Kansas, 100 miles wide, a mile away you can't see the lake anymore. That'd be a huge distance on the scale of the world. And then let's say you come to another lake with more islands in it. So that would be the outer lands, the extra terra land, extra territory. And if somebody lived in that extra territory and came to visit us in the inner, where we go out pond, because out would be from the outer space. So there could be more land, more resources, and there's so much evidence that there are passageways through there, stories from the past, and even currently we've seen ships that are in the center of Antarctica, giant, they say fishing boats, 80 meters wide by 850 meters long, like gigantic ships. But when you plot that on a flat Earth, they're just going to the outer. Watch my videos, flatearthdave.com, go to interviews, and like half of my videos, I talk about giant ships that we found that are going from the nation of Kiribati, which is, they say, a very important trade route. Literally, it's a tiny sandbar in the middle of the South Pacific, and they say it's an important trade route. What are they doing? I think they're going out there trading tuna fish, children. I don't know, but there is something going on there. So that is fascinating.
That is fascinating. That's a lot of food. A lot of food for thought there.
And for those of you out doubting and everything, my YouTube channel is flatearthdave.com. I have a YouTube channel called DITRH. It stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. And some of my videos are on 5 minutes. Start that. Like, if you think I'm stupid, watch a couple of 5-minute videos. And before you know it, you'll be watching hour videos, 2-hour videos, and 5-hour videos, because this topic is life-changing.
Well, one thing I found really interesting about Antarctica, when you look at even video from the 80s, the mid-80s, you see a lot of tropical jungly area in many places throughout Antarctica. What's the deal with that?
Oh, because, again, this is a visual's help here. If you know about the clock, and you look at that, it's the oldest clock in the world, and it has a 26,000-year cycle where our North Pole makes this giant circle, magnetic north of our realm, and the melted, the inhabitable land moves. So in 30,000 years, everything here will be frozen, and we'll be living on the other side of the realm.
That's interesting, really interesting.
And maybe these Mayans and all these civilizations disappeared. Maybe they moved to the outer lands. Maybe they migrated. Back to the Iron Republic. One of the things the captain of the ship asked, he said, like, how did you end up here? What's going on? He said, in the 1600s, there was a lot of tyranny going on, and we didn't like it, so we left. Imagine that, tyranny in the world and people wanting to leave. Well, they don't want that to happen again, so they literally made it so we can't even imagine living, because on a ball, literally on a ball. And the ball is a prison for your mind. Your imagination creates your reality. And if you can't imagine outside of the ball because that doesn't exist in your imagination, they've limited your manifestation potential.
Yeah. So the whole premise, or I would say the majority, is about control, right? It's about them controlling and harnessing the human population around this. Would that be correct?
I would say 100%. I think this world that we live in, I know it, whether you believe it or not, is, not you, just anyone listening. It's a spiritual, energetic world we live in. We're electric beings in an electrical world. Everything's live. Everything has energy. Everything has consciousness, in my opinion. And they're literally keeping us in fear state, and they love that fear. They're archonic, and they feed off of our fear. So, on the news, murder, nuclear bombs, right? Are you guys aware nuclear bombs don't exist? There's no such thing as a nuclear bomb?
I wondered about
New
that.
rabbit hole, huh?
Yeah,
Not
that is a
for
rabbit
me.
hole. I think I've jumped down a
but
long
here's the
time
thing:
ago, but
once you have the information, and it's a great podcast. I say it's better than college, and it's only $8 a month. It's called Crow 777 Radio, CRROW777radio.com. And I've actually over the years I've told people do not send your kids to university. Do not send them to Crow University and have them listen to 5 episodes a week. That's it. You can listen to it while they're bike riding, while they're gardening, while they're hiking, while they're painting, while they're kite surfing. They can listen whenever they want. And a bunch of people have done this, and their kids are awesome. I will hire those kids before I'll hire a college graduate from any college, right? So, but the Crow is, I think it's 35, episode 400. They fully go over the evidence for the nuclear bomb, and no denying it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's a good thing, because when the news is on in the background, they're like, the war here, Putin could spark a nuclear war. If you have a nuclear bomb, every cell in your body is now in stress. It's like worried about nuclear bombs. We've been programmed of what a nuclear bomb will do. The Terminator, with Sarah Connor holding onto the fence and all of that stuff and everything that we were taught in school as kids. That every cell in your body is now at disease. And me, I happen to have the news on. Don't listen to the news. It gives you cancer. But if I happen to hear the news and somebody says something about nuclear bombs, I literally giggle and see them with a clown a clown knows because they're clowns. Either they're liars or they're just ignorant because there are no nuclear bombs. Everyone, another people mostly hold up. What do you mean there's nuclear bombs? What about Hiroshima and Nagasaki? There's video troops setting up skids and skids and skids of dynamite at ground zero at both locations. After the bomb, nobody was able to take a photo or write an article. They were put in jail. One guy that worked, whatever, the Associated Press or whatever the organization was. And he's the only one allowed to tell us what's going on. 3 days after those bombs went off, the sandwich shops were open. They were selling flowers on the street. Everything back except for, a bunch of buildings that blew up from an explosion. Does that sound like a nuclear bomb? No, it doesn't. Am I getting out anymore? Am I coming nice and clear?
It goes in and out.
It's in and out. I think when you're really close to the microphone or you're very energized, it's cutting out a little bit more. Yeah. It might be throwing a heavier signal through the microphone. But overall, I can hear you.
I'm trying to tune it down. I'm trying to tune it down a bit.
All right. Okay. So what about Tataria? Do you have anything to say about Tataria?
Tataria is a generic term for the old world civilization. People like to think that we're at the peak of civilization, and the truth is we are literally 3/4 of the way through the movie Idiocracy. There was an advanced civilization here 150 years ago, before there was some sort of worldwide mud flood reset, whatever it was. I don't know what it was, but everything got buried. The entire world, almost the entire world, got buried. And all that stuff being expended, all sorts of way under the earth. And here they were doing some renovation, building a new building, and they were 40 meters down, brick archways, 4 meters. Like what? How did that happen? So, and then the buildings that we see already that are still here, and the power forts all over the place, they're beyond what we can even theorize how to build today. And they were built with, copper chisels and horse and buggies. There's a great channel on YouTube. Write this down, everybody. My Lunch Break. And he basically finds like a building and he looks at the history of the building. Yeah. Have you watched My Lunch Break?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen a lot of his stuff. Yeah, he goes down.
You need to watch
rabbit holes.
every video. And then he's also in a movie. Sean Hibbler from Hibbler Productions is working on. Hibbler did a series called Level, and then The Next Level, and then Level with Me. Those could all be found on my app and on the site and the Crash Course area. He's working on one called Old World Order, and Stu Peters is a lie. You know what's not a lie? Is astrology. Astrology, I used to laugh at astrology, how stupid, Mars is retrograde. It's 50 million miles away, and it can't even affect the tides. How's it going to affect you? Well, the truth is Mars is energetic, it's sentient, it's within the Earth system, and it has lots to do with how our lives run. So once you understand what space is and what space isn't, you understand that astronomy is complete and total pseudoscience, and astrology is the real science.
Yeah, it's interesting when we look back at ancient cultures and the tools that they utilized. They were way ahead of us, I think, in many ways. And I think that's the big question is how much has this current timeline that we're on have been how manipulated has it been? And I think when we look back at these ancient civilizations, we look back even as early as the 1800s, and we look at like I know on like My Lunch Break, and he'll talk about the World's Fairs and these elaborate buildings that there's no way at that point in time horse and buggy could have put them together, and no way in the time frames that they said these monstrosity palaces, arenas were built. So a lot has been manipulated and hidden, and I believe there's an awakening, but I believe there's still a long way for us to go. But now, where would you say the timeline falls that like the flat Earth was really erased? That people, so say this was something that ancient cultures knew about, they wrote about it. Obviously, they wrote about things that we're finding were true. So why couldn't that be true? That's my theory. And when was the timeline majorly shifted and covered up?
So the Rockefellers took over the education system, I think, in 1902 or somewhere around there, and they started changing it. And there's been so many articles you can find about teachers that were teaching heliocentrism and being sued for teaching such nonsense. But, there wasn't a whole lot of communication in the early 1900s. We were just coming out of reset. And so these pockets, all over flat, and then in the 50s, they changed it. And, television came.
You're cutting out a lot right now.
Cutting in and out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why is that happening?
Because you're on with two psychics.
we mess with electrical current. It's just part of the routine.
It's killing me, though, because I want to hear everything you have to say.
Is that quieter? Is that quieter? Can you hear me? Is that quieter?
Yeah, maybe quieter, yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, I think maybe a little quieter, maybe off the mic, maybe back from the mic.
I don't know.
Bit.
It's just every other word. Then it was like not even getting one word.
Ah, you're kidding me.
Now I can hear you. Now I can hear you good.
Is it rock solid now?
It is.
Good?
Yes.
Now
good.
it sounds
I'm not
good.
too quiet?
No?
Okay, we'll keep
not
it
at
there.
All. Okay, keep it there.
So get back to the Rockefellers. They're early 1900s.
You're saying the Rockefellers took over
so
the
you think
system. That's what you were saying. The Rockefellers took over the education system.
Well, they took over everything.
The Rockefellers, they did it by design, where they took over the education system and they made sure that the schools mandatory. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, I think it's when you start. Maybe it's almost like it's receiving information, but when you talk really fast and a little bit louder, then it almost like is hitting it wrong or something. It's
like
strange.
The signal's overloading a little bit or something.
Sorry.
I'm gonna try to remain calm, but it's
we need you to be in a calm, zen-like state.
so they set up this game mandatory. And then they underfunded the schools. It's funny, the military can buy $100 million debt, but the school needs a cupcake sale, a cookie sale to buy books or paper. So they made it so the schools really didn't have a lot of money. And then the Rockefellers would produce a book. Let's say the book cost them, $50 to produce. So sell it to the school for $7. And that way, no one could ever compete. No independent, I got a better textbook because they can't produce them, and that's the curriculum, and then they made it so anybody that can memorize and regurgitate nonsense the best became the teachers of the generation. The teachers aren't liars; they're just well indoctrinated and memorized all of the garbage. Right? Ask a teacher how fast is the orbit of the sun? How fast is the sun close to the star? What's the square of light? People love it. There's 120 or 130,000 people on the Friend Finder already. So people I can't talk to anybody. My family thinks I'm crazy. I'm like, go on the Friend Finder. Oh, look, there's somebody literally a half a mile from me. Let's meet at the little pub. They have a beer, a coffee together. Best friends forever. It's amazing. So there's so many resources out there now. Flat Earth 2024 is going to be the year of Flat Earth because it is growing so fast. I don't know if you guys know about Truth Freedom Conference in Alco called Poco. It's the biggest freedom conference ever. And I was invited to speak on Flat Earth. My talk was the number one attended talk. I found out that 49 of the 50 speakers were already globe deniers / flat earthers. And when I asked the audience, how many of you believe within a ball, I was kind of disappointed because only 3 people raised their hand. But there were a couple dozen people in the back who were earthers, but they were afraid to raise their hand. Isn't the time turn? 2014, everyone's like, who is a flat earther? Nobody would want to raise their hand because they were afraid. Now the globe believers are afraid to raise their hands. Isn't that interesting?
That's an interesting shift. Definitely interesting shift.
Yeah.
But I think that's good. I think that shows that people are becoming aware that they could speak. They could speak their truth or what they feel it is, and try to lead. Try to lead us to the truth. I think that's what it comes down to at this point is, There's lots of theories, there's lots of opinions, but if we can really get some hard evidence, we can bring this stuff to light, and we can show enough people about it, then the awareness can shift, and the awakening can happen.
I think more and more are becoming awakened. I think more, just across the board, I'm realizing. And I believe in the next 6 months, I would say most of the population will have to become awakened because they're not going to be able to deny it anymore. And to me, this is just another aspect of the world that we don't really know about, that we live in. And I'm really happy that someone like you is behind it and is able to share so much. And you're very much, researched and insightful and thinking about things in a different way and not just taking everything at face value. And that to me is more intelligent than just kind of following what everyone else says and getting in line and taking everything at face value, because that's not really thinking for yourself or being an individual.
This topic, I said it's the most important topic ever. And it is because it's the key to our freedom. When you get off of their ball field and stop playing with their fake money, you plug the matrix, stop feeding them. I'm no longer in fear at all. Right? There's people that are fear for me, but don't buy it. I believe that evil can catch you if you don't break it. Give them permission. Am I breaking up?
Ooh, breaking up a little bit, cutting in and out now.
You're breaking up now.
Am I?
Yeah.
We are just overloading this whole circuit.
I'm sorry. I don't know. It's technology. It's not perfect. It's all meant to stop us from saying the
powers
truth.
that be do not want this information coming out.
I feel like that.
You never know.
No,
it is fascinating. I do find it fascinating, and I think these are the conversations, though, that we have to have. Information has to come to light. We have to share information. We have to open our minds. I can't tell you how many people at one point in my life, hey, I'm a psychic medium, would think this guy's crazy. He's talking to spirit. There's other realms. He can contact my dad, my grandfather, and bring messages through. At one point in time, everyone that was doing that was psychotic, or we look at the witch trials were hung. But now things are coming to light. We know this stuff is being scientifically proven. We are making strides, I think. But this is something that I think I commend you for what you're doing, because what you're doing is even harder than what I'm doing.
I will agree with that.
So kudos to you, absolutely.
I have think about this. In the heliocentric model, there's 100 billion stars in our galaxy, and they're all moving in their own directions. They say 80% of them are binary, which means they have another star which they're orbiting around each other. So each stars is making their own little star is a trinary, if that's a word, star, where the three of them are gravitationally pulling each other around. Our star, the sun, is moving like 4.5 billion miles, trillion or billion, whatever, 5 billion miles a year, never to return to where it was before. So everything's moving in all different directions. Imagine you threw a rock at a beehive and 1,000 bees come out. They're all moving in directions. So they're all changing positions from your point of view. All of history, no two stars have ever crossed each other's path due to parallax. Parallax is when something's close, something's far, and you move. They've all been in the same exact orientation forever. That's impossible. That's possible. All the stars circle around Polaris. All of the planets are on the same plane. Planets used to be called wandering stars. Plane, and they all circle around Polaris also. Wait a minute. I thought we were all going around the sun. The sun, the moon, and all the planets and all the stars circle around Polaris. The Earth does not move. And if you look into astrology, they talk about the movement of all planets and all of the heavenly bodies, but not the movement of Earth. But in the heliocentric world, the Earth is moving 66,000 miles around the sun, miles per hour. It's moving 186 million miles from season to season, winter to summer. And it's chasing this at 500,000 miles an hour. But they ignore that. Am I breaking up again?
No, you're good.
No,
you're
I'm
good.
just wow.
You're just. My head's spinning. You're giving me a lot. You're giving me a lot of information here.
Your head is the only thing that's spinning.
It's in a good way.
Let me give you another thing. So picture this. You have you got a big piece of paper. You draw a big circle on it. You draw the flat Earth map on it. Right? And the edge of that paper is everything outside that circle, and the paper is gigantic. Let's say it's 50 feet wide. But you draw a circle 3 feet in circumference, right? And you cut out that circle. You cut out. And you wrap it around a ball. Now, the top part is the center of the ball. At the top of the circle, so nice. As you get farther down the ball, paper's going to crumple up because there's going to be all that extra paper trying to fit into a smaller space. You following me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the bottom part is the outer south. So if we lived on a ball, the North Pole and the South Pole, there would be 24 lines of longitude. That's a straight line from the North Pole to the South Pole, kind of like the sections of an orange. But there's 24 of them around. The Earth spins. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. There are your time. That's what we've been taught time zones are. Did you know that there's 18 time zones in the north, 24 time zones between the tropics, which is the middle part, and there's 32 time zones in the south?
Wow, that's crazy. I knew there was a lot, but I didn't realize there was that many.
Yeah, but there should only be 24 everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
because if you think the time zone on a flat Earth, it's a line spiraling out from the middle, so that pizza slice gets bigger and bigger towards the Antarctic crust, and so people noticed that, so they literally bent them and moved them and changed them and added them. There's time zones. There's 32 time zones in the south.
Okay.
I got to think about the time zone thing a bit.
Yeah. No, it's fascinating. And you have to think this has got to come out. I mean, I think more and more people are looking at these aspects, these scientific aspects. And I think it's the same with the energy work, the healing, the mediumship. When we really try to discern what's truly going on and we have these types of questions and these are the answers, I mean, how can you say what we're being fed is true? It obviously isn't. There's obviously a lot of holes in the can.
Well, the thing is, anybody can say anything, and then you can't go through this life not believing, because if you had to verify everything, you'd never have time to do anything.
Yeah.
I live in Connecticut. Now you believe I live in Connecticut, but you don't know it, and then you have to kind of figure it out and take the time and effort. But we're told stuff that's absolutely nonsense. Can't even explain anything. When it comes to the heliocentric model, none of it makes any sense, right? Everywhere in nature, in labs, gas, air, gases will violently fill the available space. I had a box of air, and I'm in a room that has no air. Open the box, the air is going to immediately fill the empty space. It's going to immediately equalize. High pressure always equalizes to low pressure unless it's contained in a container, right? Your propane tank is thick propane on the bottom, then it's thinner gas and thinner all to the top. Contained, put a hole in it, that the gases will immediately fill the available space. It's in space. Giant amounts of helium and hydrogen collapse upon each other and create stars. Our sun, they say, one of the smallest stars, right? Our sun, compared to some of the other stars, is like a house would be another star, and our sun would be smaller than a grain of sand. That's how big they're telling us some stars are. They all look like they're the same size. It's kind of weird. But you burn balls of hydrogen and helium in a space vacuum, which breaks every law of physics. Tell us our sun burns 640 billion tons, number you can't fathom, of fuel. For some reason, they create gravity in space. Jupiter, they say, is made of 98 or 99% helium and hydrogen, and it has more gravity than the rest of the planets combined. Wait a minute. what? That makes absolutely no sense. And then you start diving in the brightness of the planets, the brightness of the moon. None of it makes sense, but nobody that believes in the globe has ever bothered to do the work. You were told something. You watch movies. You watch Star Trek. You watch Lost in Space. You watched everything. Everything is space related. Globes in the classroom. The first worksheet you bring home is the orbit of the sun and the earth and the moon. I remember doing the worksheet. Okay, why are they ingraining this into little kids? It's because if they can get you off God's created world.
Okay, you're close. You're doing very well. No choppy. Question about Starlink satellites.
Yes. So I've seen them. Have you seen them cross over the sky?
Yeah, I saw maybe it was years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. I saw.
Well, I don't know. Were they up 3 or 4 years ago? But I saw
I think
a train
3
of them
years
go
ago.
by.
Yeah, I saw one for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, in Harrison, New York.
So there was a whole row of them in Connecticut. I'm right off southern Connecticut, and we're watching go by. We're out in the Long Island Sound. Like, oh my Lord! But in front of them, you'll hear a jet plane, sounds like a fighter jet, and behind them you'll hear a fighter jet. And to me, those things look very, very close. They look lower than the airplanes, and I think that whatever it is, it's very low, and they have a jet fighter in front of it, behind it, stopping the rogue pilot Cessna or whatever from going, what is that, and flying in that area. They will just immediately intercept them and stop it. So let's talk about what we're seeing. So you ever stand next to a 747? Gigantic, right? They're so big. People don't realize how big a 747 is. But a 747 is about the same size as the space station, okay? The International Space Station. And a 747 flying at cruising altitude of like 5 to 7 miles is a tiny little speck in the sky. You can look up. I see that plane. See the shape of the plane. But you can't see the engines because the engines are too small to see. You with me? You tracking?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The engines are 20 to 30 times bigger than a Starlink satellite. You can fit 20 to 30 Starlink satellites inside of a 747 engine. You cannot see the 747 engine 5 to 7 miles up. You know how high they tell Starlink is? 150 miles. Okay? And you think that you can see the sun reflecting off of something so small, right? It's absolutely scientifically provable that you couldn't see it if it was 5 miles sky. But we're talking 350 miles. So what is it? One thing a couple of people have noticed is a really clear night, and the Starlink is flying by. If you're looking up at it, stars to the left and to the right of it disappear as it goes over. Why is the star, a couple feet to the left, blocking? And some people are theorizing that they're giant airships that are cloaked, if you will, so you can't see them, but they'll block the stars. Mm-hmm. Right? If you looked into the airships of the old world, I mean, there was airships that carried thousands of hidden plus a demonized hydrogen with the Hindenburg was a false flag, and NASA owns all of the helium in the world. There's always a helium shortage, just enough for part balloons, and they're rocket balloons, of course. There's not enough for dirigible companies to get back technology that used to be here. Because if you had a device, an airship, that can pull energy out of the ether, didn't need the land, could probably explore where they don't want you to explore. So this is all about controlling the human race. Starlink is scientifically impossible to be what they say. You wouldn't be able to see it. Starlink works. It works. You can get signals. Wi-Fi. Let me tell you what it is. So from South Jersey all the way back to Connecticut, I was on a phone call the whole time. Now, my cell phone can only reach so far, but it was jumping from tower to tower to tower, and I didn't lose a call. I didn't hear anything. You guys with me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So when you're flying on a commercial airliner, you got Wi-Fi, you get internet, you get whatever you want if they allow you, right? So a cell tower, the higher the cell tower is, the farther the range it has. So it's hard to build, you can only go so high on cell towers. So they have low ones all over the place. But all of that equipment and power source and maintenance that's needed are on every commercial airline flight. The airline flights are roving towers. But if your satellite phone can't reach a cell tower, it'll reach the nearest airplane. The airplane will relay that to a tower or to another airplane, to another airplane, to a tower. Exact same technology. There's nothing different. There's nothing future, and that's how they do it. And those airplanes are 5 miles up in the sky versus a satellite 20,000 miles up in the sky, or ridiculous. Red Bull jump went up 127,000 feet, and they couldn't talk to the guy. They lost communications. They couldn't literally talk to the guy at 20 miles. And we're supposedly communicating with satellites that are way, way, way harder than that, and that they're falling on the Earth. The Earth is corkscrewing through space in different directions in all curved trajectories. Somehow those satellites are mirroring all of the motions of the Earth. It's absolute insanity to believe that, because here's the reason people believe it, because it's easier to believe than to actually think. Belief is easy. If you want, belief, you believe it, you're done. Go take a nap, drink a beer. But if you want to know something, you actually have to make your brain work, and people are lazy. People are lazy. So there's roving cell towers, it's airplanes, they're all over the place. AI knows where every airplane's going to be, and if they say, you know what, there's going to be a hole in this area over, Nevada or whatever, they'll send a plane over there, a drone, or an AWACS plane, whatever you want. They'll send a balloon over there. Right? They have tens of thousands of satelloons up there, but most of the stuff is done on airplanes. They're literally towers. They have the power. They can be serviced, and the equipment's already on the airplanes. So that's how it works. Satellite phones use airplanes.
Yeah, that's fascinating, and I think you hit the nail on the head with. It is much easier for the general public and people to not have to do their own critical thinking, and I think that's one of the major problems we have, and why we're seeing all this, all this chaos unfold in our society. People have lost the ability to analytically scrutinize what they're being taught, what they're being told, what they're watching. It really is an epidemic in our society right now. So I think what you're doing and what we're doing are the things that are going to shift people's awareness. Now, you have my head spinning, Flat Earth Dave. You do. This is a good thing, though. You've definitely opened up my curiosity on many levels, and I appreciate that. This is, yeah. What about you, Mary? What do you think?
Well, there is a lot of brainwashing going on. Always has been, and there is ways too through frequency and vibration and energy, and it's what they promote, and people just get very caught up in brands and wanting to be liked, and they don't want to come off as not agreeing. However, and then anyone who is putting any kind of doubt or like, look over here, and why don't you kind of come up with your own idea, they are castrated, and we're not allowed to kind of share anything outside the box. So I am really grateful that you came on tonight, and I hope that we work this out so you can come back on another time, because I'm fascinated, and I'm definitely going to watch one of your channels. You have many channels, and I'm very grateful. And I do know that you do live in Connecticut, because someone I know knows that you live in Connecticut, and I live in New York, so I know that's true.
So you're taking somebody else's word? What if they're lying? What if I paid them to become friends with you? How do you know?
I think what Mary Amy's trying to say is when we have our live event. What Mary Amy's trying to say is when we have our live event, you're going to be a live guest. You're not that far away that you can't come into the New York area for one of our live workshop seminars and things we're going to be doing.
Something, because
that's what she's really trying to say.
You're one of our people. You're part of our tribe, Dave.
Do you guys have my app?
Getting it after tonight. No.
Yeah,
I
get
don't
it after
have it,
tonight.
But I will.
Just to tell people, the app was made just to be able to show people and show yourself and watch and find videos that are all being hidden from you. But then people say, hey, can we find other flat earthers near us, and we do this, that, and all these things cost money. So the app is $3 one-time charge, and it does a ton. But also some features in there that require a subscription. The subscription is $11 a year. Now, you don't need the subscription. If you wanted to learn about flat Earth, don't get the subscription. But it's $11 a year. You can also get that for free if you just show people the app and they download it, use your referral code, you get 11 points, 3-year subscription. But and that's because it costs me more than $3 to have these services in there per user. So, you know,
what's it called again? Because I'm looking right now.
It's called the Flat Earth. No, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app.
Yeah,
but the problem is there's a knockoff one. There's a knockoff. It's by Blue Water Bay. Make sure it's by Blue Water Bay. But a lot of people can't remember that. Just so Flat Earth Day, mind blowing.
Okay, so it's called Flat Earth Sun, Moon, Flat Earth Clock. Is that it?
But the company name should be Blue Water Bay. Does it say Blue Water Bay under it?
Yeah.
So what we're going to tell everyone is go to flatearthdave.com, go to the link, and that's going to be your easiest way.
Big banner. That's the best way. That's the safest way. And also my YouTube channels. I have 2 interview channels. I have my Flat Earth Clock app channel, which has tons of videos on it. I have my DITRH, which is all the short, really good, high-quality videos. But they're all linked right there. And my TikTok is there. And they just took down my TikTok. I had 20,000 subs. Now I'm down to 50, 100. But that got deleted for no explanation the other day. Because I'm just reaching too many people. So, tons of resources right there on the website. And check it out. Prove me wrong. Win 3 Bitcoins. Change life. Flat Earth is key to your freedom, nation.
And I think anything that can bring us closer to the understanding that we are a divine creation from a divine creator is a very important aspect of our human existence. The closer that we can get to that, the more people that are going to be trying to get us away from it.
There's a verse in the Bible that says, once you see my creation, you can no longer deny existence. That's why they had the flat earth, because there's not a single flat earther that doesn't understand that there's a creator. Everybody wants to put their spin on it. It's religion, it's that. I'm not religious at all. I have a relationship with the creator, and a relationship with my business. It's no one else's business. But flat earth
our show's about to end. It's going to just cut us off. But I did just get I just got your app, and I'm excited, and I'm very excited, and I appreciate you coming on. And
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Flat Earth Dave, thank you very much. You've got our heads spinning. I think this is the first time that Mary, Amy, and I have been speechless for points in the interview. This is the first. You did it.
I wish the audio was better. That's we'll make it.
We'll do it another time, and it'll even be better. You're amazing. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks. Enjoy. Bye.
Bye-bye.
FlatEarthDave.com. Everyone check his site out.
Okay, well, our show's about to end in 30 seconds. Thank you so much for everyone listening. Sorry about the technical difficulty. And you can find his information on the description. Michael will be back again next week with me. I don't know if it's a Thursday or Friday. We will decide in a few days. We were going to get some professional photos taken together this weekend, and we're going to come up with a jingle,
aren't we? Got the photo shoot this weekend.
Woohoo.
Down at the Jersey Shore.
Yay. And then on March 22nd, we will have Jessica Jones, and she is a remote viewer and a cryptozoologist. Bye-bye, everyone.
Take care. Have a good night. We will see you next week.
Bye.